friends, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Savannah and welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, we are going to be making 3 different kinds of homemade spice blends. So if you're anything like me, a lot of the recipes that I find online that I want to try call for either a taco seasoning packet or a ranch seasoning packet. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a homemade ranch seasoning packet and homemade taco seasoning. And I'm also going to show you how to make a homemade chili blend because we do chili here a lot. I'm just one of these people that enjoys chili and soup no matter what the temperature is outside. So I like to always have chili seasoning on hand. And the more I bought it and the more I thought about it, I thought that maybe making these things homemade would not only let me know for sure what is in them, but also they might be a little bit cheaper, ounce for ounce and pound for pound. Now, to make all of these recipes, you really don't need any kind of special ingredients, just normal spices that you can find at practically any grocery store. The only thing that's a little different that you might need to purchase that you wouldn't already have on hand or might be a little difficult to find would be some buttermilk powder. This is the brand of buttermilk powder that I use. I find it on the baking aisle with all the other powdered milks. At Walmart, it's usually on the bottom shelf of my store, but if you look wherever the powdered milks and stuff like that are in your local grocery store, I'm sure they have some sort of powdered buttermilk. So this is the only ingredient that is not something you would probably have on hand at any given moment. But now that I've given you a little overview of what we're going to be doing today, let's jump right into this video and learn how to make some homemade seasonings.
So the first seasoning blend that we are going to be making today is our homemade ranch packet. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some buttermilk powder. I am making a large batch of this, and I will leave all the amounts of everything that you're going to need down below in the description box. But we are starting out with 2 cups of this buttermilk powder. You can cut this recipe down if you don't want to make quite as much. I just go ahead and make a large batch so that I have it for various recipes over several months. Now I'm adding a 1/4 cup of parsley flakes, followed by a 1.5 tablespoons of dried dill. Then I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of onion powder, a 1/4 cup of minced onion, a 1/4 cup of garlic powder, and 2 teaspoons of black pepper. I had to get a little more out of the next container because I was almost out. A tablespoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of chives, 2 teaspoons of paprika, and that is it. You're just going to stir this around and mix it until combined. Some people will make this straight in the jar and just shake it up to combine it, but I just always do it in a bowl. And this recipe makes about this much, which is not really an amount, but those are old queso jars, so that's how much that this recipe makes. Now we're going to get into making the homemade taco seasoning. And I am just making this in the same bowl we just made the ranch seasoning in. So I'm starting out with 3/4 cup of chili powder, a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of red chili flakes, a tablespoon of oregano, 2 tablespoons of paprika, and then 6 tablespoons of cumin. I was using the ends of like 3 open things I had, so bear with me there as I get it out of all different containers. And then I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of salt and 3 tablespoons of black pepper. Now you can put less pepper and less red chili flake, whatever your preference is. We like it a little spicy, so we just go with all the pepper. And then lastly, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and I'm just going to mix that together, and it is complete. So again, I'm just going to mix this and put it into jars. And this makes a few cups of taco seasoning. I had a little bit of another batch left over, so I just mixed that in and then I put it back in a jar. This was a pickle jar. You can spend the money on the cute jars if you want, but I just use whatever I get at the grocery store that I can repurpose. So here is our taco seasoning, and now on to the chili. So we are starting off with a 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons of chili powder. Next, we're going to add in 3 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, followed by 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper. You can do less if you don't like it as spicy. We're going to do a tablespoon of garlic powder and 1.5 tablespoons of onion powder, 2 tablespoons of salt, and 1 tablespoon of pepper. And then that is it for our chili seasoning. We're just going to mix that together. And again, I'm going to take my older batch, mix it in with it, and transfer it all to a jar to store. Now, all of these store at room temperature except for the ranch seasoning. I store it in the refrigerator because the buttermilk powder says to refrigerate after opening, so I just keep it in the fridge. I ended up transferring all of these into larger jars so that they would all have just 1 jar of each seasoning. So this is our ranch seasoning. This was just one of those big batches. I didn't add anything to it. I didn't have any left over. I was completely out. But that recipe makes such a large amount that I am set for several months. And this is the taco seasoning. Super simple, super easy. This also is a large batch. And then lastly, this is our chili seasoning. This is comparable to the packets of chili seasoning that you buy at the grocery store. Again, I just like to make these homemade because you know exactly what's in them, and they end up being a lot cheaper when you make them in bulk. And as you can see from the video, the recipes are really simple to come together. You just literally pour everything in a bowl, mix it up, put it in a jar, and you're good to go. And it's a lot simpler than I thought it was. I don't know why I thought it would be so hard to make these when I first started, but they are really simple, and I was able to throw all of these together in less than 20 minutes, and that's with filming this for you guys.
Well, that is all that I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I would really like to have you here. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Let me know down in the comments if you made any of these spice seasoning blends and how you like them. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.